Between blizzard or beautiful, beautiful. But that's you got to play the elements when you play in Buffalo too. And I said this a few weeks back. My college coach said, yeah, if you want to win in the North Atlantic, you better train in the North Atlantic. So it's good that we get to have it here, and whatever the weather has in store for us, we'll have to adjust and find out. But so does the other team. No comment. Yeah, no comment. I won't answer that one. Think you know.
Jones, from the point of view of, you know how it is to be a rookie first round pick quarterback playing, immediately, and what's your impression of how successful he's done so far?
I mean, he's been playing fantastic. You look at what he's done even in college, coming to the league, completing the ball at a very, very high rate, being smart with the football. He's a big reason why they've won so many in a row. Fortunately, I play the defense, and that's its own challenge because they've got some really, really good dudes. You look at the corner position, Mills and Jackson, and Jackson's having another great year. They got some guys that can get after the quarterback, Hightower and Judon and a few other guys. And they are very versatile. They're smart players. McCourty, obviously, he's been in the league for a long time. He's extremely smart, extremely instinctive. And he's doing some really good things. And again, their defense has been balling out during this little win streak that they've gotten. And it's a nice win streak. So we're going to have our hands full, being smart with the football, trying to execute at a high level and give ourselves a chance to win a football game.
Josh, I know a lot of things are set with the turnover, but what concern do you have with the turnover with the past 4 games? And what do you think that you're really trying to do more than 111?
I think maybe at times, other times football, it's just those guys on the defensive side, they get paid too. And, we want to make sure that we're being smart with the football, and I want to take care of it and not put it in harm's way in the air, or on the ground for that matter. But again, football happens sometimes, and you got to be able to roll with the punches, forget about it, and get on to the next play. And, that's what we're going to do. And, again, an emphasis on ball security going forward. That's a statistic around the league that just always holds up pretty true. You win the turnover battle, your chance of winning that game, increases exponentially. So we understand that. That's one of the things Coach McDermott always preaches to us, and we got to do a better job with it.
What do you think about the way they play? They play some games, a lot of man coverages with 5 DB, 6 DB, 7 DB, but they don't really give up a ton of big plays.
Yeah, again, it's a Belichick defense. They're always going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to know their leverage, and they're not going to lose their leverage. They play extremely tough, and like I said, they're so interchangeable. They can play man from zone looks and zone from man looks. They can drop D ends and D tackles out in coverage as well, and bring 3 and kind of switch things up on you. And they just do a variety of things that make it really hard for the opposing quarterback. So, I've got to be on my P's and Q's and make sure that I'm very decisive with the football and reading what they're trying to do. And again, try to get the ball into our playmakers' hands.
What makes Matthew Judon so effective?
I think one is his motor. Constantly you see him just continuing the play and running downfield, making tackles. He's got a couple good little moves in the pass rush game. And he's a motor guy. He wants to go out there, and I'm pretty sure he went to a small college. So he's got that chip on his shoulder, and he plays extremely hard, and he's having a fantastic year.
One of those guys like TJ Watt where you personally need to make sure you know where he's at on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. He's that type of caliber of player where he's a difference maker, and he can wreck a game if you let him.
What have you learned from those? Face them now.
It seems like every game's a little different. It's all game plan based, and he wants to try to take away your greatest strength. And last year obviously we had some success, and the previous years we didn't. So again, it's a full football game that's going to have its ups and downs. We're going to have to adjust on the fly. We're going to have to ride the ebbs and flows of the game and try to stay as consistent as possible and just try to execute a game plan.
What is your greatest strength?
Yeah. One, just, like going back to that game and just not trying to play hero ball. I think I threw 3 interceptions in the first half or something like that. And didn't help our team in that aspect, didn't help us move the ball. But again, learning, with McDermott and Dable's help, just trying to end every possession with a kick, whether it be a punt, field goal, or PAT, and giving ourselves the best chance possible. And again, I think it all comes back to that whole turnover deal.
You mentioned Belichick's defense tries to take away your greatest strength. What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, if you look at the past few games, Stephon Diggs is just he's having a lot of success, and we're going to need him going forward. But if they want to, they've done some things in the past where they try to double your best guy, or maybe they double your number 2. And again, he's got J.C. Jackson on him, who's a phenomenal player. But again, we're just going to have to adjust on the fly. Whatever they plan on doing, we're going to find out, hopefully in that first quarter. And we got to go out there and make some plays.
Corner like that, how do you find a balance between, not risking too much and then want to give your guy chances too? Yeah,
I mean, I think it's just kind of a trust factor of trusting my guy over him. But again, everybody's got to do their part. We all got to do our 1/11th. We got to establish a run game. And again, we got to not put the ball in harm's way in the air.
At this time of year, when do you start looking at the forecast? And you guys, how much of the game plan, or maybe a percentage, has to be factored into what it looks like it's going to be doing?
I mean, obviously that's kind of one of the reasons I was drafted here is I've played in the elements. I understand, myself in these elements. And again, sometimes it's extremely hard when the wind's blowing 45, 50 miles an hour, if it's raining. But again, that's why I'm here. That's why I was drafted to come here and play in these types of elements. So to be honest, I don't really check the forecast. It's all really, and again, we all know what Buffalo is and how things can change in an instant. And again, I got to be ready to play in whatever type of weather and try to execute a game plan.
Obviously, they're looking at the weather, the coaches. How much do you think the game plan goes one way or the other? If it's going to be a lousy, windy night.
I mean, I don't think it changes a whole bunch. I think they've got some trust in me and I've got trust in them. But if it turns into just outrageous conditions, actually, you're going to see more run heavy from both sides of the ball. And, those are the games that go by quick because both teams are running it and the quarters go by fast. And that makes each possession just extremely valuable.
Against a Belichick defense, is it better for you to be decisive and make a few mistakes as opposed to trying to read every little nook and cranny of what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, again, they change up things so well. They do different types of things, give you different looks. Being decisive with the football and, again, just finding completions early on, that I think that's the most important thing is just trying to find completions, not forcing the ball down the field. And I think in that game that we alluded to earlier, that's what I was trying to do, is trying to force the ball down the field and trying to make some plays that way. But again, we got to get guys to get open. We got to block. We got to run. I got to put the ball where they can catch it. On defense, I mean, I don't know if there's a huge difference. They've gotten a lot of turnovers during this win streak that they have, and but again, it's due to forcing the quarterback in some uncommon circumstances and forcing them to throw the ball. And again, they got guys that are just smart.
You seen this? I think they had.
They got linebackers that can do it all too. So we got to be prepared for that.
Josh, why do you think it is that you guys haven't been able to pull out one of these close victories just yet? It's like been a blowout or, a loss?
Yeah, again, we got to be better in that aspect of just controlling the football and making sure we're holding on to it. And when you get in these tight contested games, especially in the division, you got to expect that to be happening. So Coach McDermott does a good job of preparing us for that and 2-minute drills and stuff like that. But it comes down to the guys executing their job.
Twice last year, that give this team having to worry about what might go wrong as
I mean, I don't think it really carries over. You know, we know it's an important game because it's the next one, and in order to do what we need to do and we want to do, we got to start winning games, and it starts with this one. This is the biggest one on our schedule, so that's how we're approaching it. Well, you wish and you hope that you're in positions like this late, late in the season, playing for meaningful games. That's really all you can ask for is to be in this opportunity. And now it's Monday night again. We understand what the deal is, and we got to go out there and try to win a football game.